The biggest thing you'll see for the naked eye is the fact that they don't have fenders. I just burped. Is that going to be on there?
The point set... let me start over.
This is not going to be good. All right. Oh. Dude, what are we doing?
My name is Glenn Reen. I'm 33 years old from Wilbraham, Massachusetts. I drive the 17R SK Modified at Stafford Speedway. So this is how Riverside Speedway has played a role in my life. And my dad and I used to sit in the stands and pick out which car we wanted, and I'll never forget the first night that I can remember. I would go down and I said, I want that car right there. And it was the 10A, Porter and Chester, black and pink, just like that one. Wound up winning. So then, of course, he was my favorite. So the next week, I'd pick him again. He wins again. So became a huge fan. It was a couple years later. There he is. He's standing right there. And I'm that little kid like, excuse me, sir, sir, sir. I asked him to sit in his car about 15 times. Finally, he was like, dude, you can sit in the car, but don't touch the pedals. I'm like, I'm not going to touch the pedal. I can't even touch the pedals. The pedals aren't going to reach. So I wound up sitting in his car. We took a picture. And here we are 20 years later. And he asked me to be his teammate. So the World Series in 2011 was awesome. Qualified 26th, and with 40-something laps to go, we wound up leading. I think we had 3 green-white checkers. Every single one of them, I almost got taken out. I worked my ass off for that one, let me tell you. I started racing SKs that year in 2011. I've been running both cars, the late model and the modified, for 3 years now. The first year was basically the late model's year. Put all the eggs in that basket and we went and won the championship. And then the next year, the modified went really good and the late model we were struggling with. So, fortunately and unfortunately, I'm gonna miss those guys working with Rob, but we're gonna focus all our efforts on the SK. We got some older guys, we got some younger guys, we got people that know a ton about race cars, and we got people that just sweep the floor and love to be around it. So Ralph Ridgway actually got inducted into the Drag Race Hall of Fame in 2009. Ralph and my dad grew up in the same neighborhood. He's a legend in drag racing. I think he's got 20-something national records that some of them still stand to this day. It's a great atmosphere. We have a lot of fun. There's always pranks being played. There's always jokes being played. Oh, there's your problem.
Oh, that was that tight in the middle we had all last year right there.
So the goal for 2019 is to put this 17R in the championship at the end of the season, but to win the war, not the battle. So finish in top 5s, get good runs, stay out of trouble. No black flags, hopefully, this year. What was they said if you get in trouble, we're going to talk to you and tell you that
You're on probation.
You're on probation. I didn't know I was on probation. So we went 2 weeks, not 3 like you had to go. And we had another run-in on a restart when a guy checked up and I wound up spinning him out. So then I got thrown out. Then I got thrown out in both divisions though. I was pretty talented. I didn't even run the other one yet and they threw me out of that one.
See, sometimes the way you drive, I feel like we ought to be sponsored by Mace so I can get out of the spotters.
My name is Michael Christopher Jr. I'm 19 years old from Wolcott, Connecticut, and I drive the number 82 SK Modified at Stafford Speedway. I started racing go-karts when I was 10 at Stafford on the mini mile. Progressed up from there. We won the championship, I think 2012. Moved up to the Legend cars in 2013 and 14 at the Waterford Speed Bowl. Broke some records there, and then moved up to the SK division. We've been racing there since 2015. Didn't win my first 3 years, but 2018 came around and we had 4 wins, and I think that was pretty much the highlight of my racing career so far. My dad's in the shop all the time, especially in the winter. He just has the biggest passion I know anybody has about racing.
Spend a lot of time building bodies. I hope. Of course, the only time we'll have to build bodies is if we get wrecked. Maybe if the driver stays out of trouble, we'll be all set.
I think he dreams about this stuff. He has some kind of ability that not many people have. If he could make a living off working on race cars, he would do it.
No sense in giving away the secrets, right? Or let him go fast. See if he can make it go fast.
It's always a competition.
Have you ever seen your dad race?
Yeah, I was young. Oh, I was really young. Yeah, I was born in 99. He stopped in 2001. When we first started in 2015, it was mostly guys from my dad's old crew, back when he used to race. But now it's died down a little bit. There's only a few people. You know, our crew's small, but we get it done.
We gotta get some rags. We'll clean up that area so when we're ready to put the motor back in, that's what we need.
I learned a lot from last year, what it takes to finish well in the point standings. I understand that concept now. You know, you have to finish every single race. You can't be wrecking. Also, I know what it's like to win. I have that taste in my mouth now where it's like, you know, you want to go out there every single week and get it. And that's something you only really get if you win a race. And, you know, I'm pretty excited that I can say, you know, I've won a race at Stafford and now I have the knowledge of how to do it again. So we're going to go out there and do the best we can. The goal for 2019 is pretty simple. It's to win the championship. Winning the championship will mean a lot, not only to me, but to my family and my crew. You know, the Christopher name has been involved in racing at Stafford since, you know, the beginning of the SK Modifieds. My uncle started racing in '85, same with my dad. You know, they both are very successful at, you know, winning at Stafford and getting championships. I mean, my uncle has 9, my dad has 3. You know, to be able to add my name to that list, and not only that, but to put another Christopher name on that list, it's something I dream of.
I'm Keith Rocco, 34 years old. I drive the 88 Wheelers Auto Chevrolet at Stafford Speedway. My racing career really didn't start till I was about 16 years old. You know, worked with Ted Christopher a little bit for a while, and then did my own thing, went street stock racing, and then I had the opportunity to jump right to SKs for Gene and Bridget Poulin, which was a huge part of my career because it was the first people that really had interest in me to drive an SK, and that really started the SK career. I started racing for John Ruffano and Maynard Ruffano. I met my car owner out hunting for tire sponsors one Saturday morning. I knocked on his garage door asking him if he'd be interested in buying some tires, and at that time he was into drag racing. He had drag race cars and he really wasn't much into circle track racing. We kind of turned him around and got rid of all his drag race stuff, and now he's full-blown circle track. You know, over the years we built a foundation between me, him, and his family, and you know, I really enjoy the connection I have with him, his wife, and now my future competitor this year, Marcello Ruffano. So, you know, we all work really good together. It's almost like a family deal. You know, a couple Italians making pasta on a Sunday. It don't get no better than that. The highlight of my racing career, other than the national championship, would be 17 Division I track titles in a matter of 10 years racing SK Modifieds. Winning the championship this year would be pretty exciting, but you know, to be honest with you, I'd rather win the races. So my program that I put together in the last few years as far as my rental program started by accident. You know, somebody I know from upstate New York, Jimmy Zacharias, was looking for a car to come to Waterford, and you know, I actually offered one of my cars for him. And he came up and never seen Waterford before, never raced there, never raced an SK in New England before. Finished third the first time he ever drove it, and it kind of opened a door for me.
So Jimmy, driving a car that you have never driven before, how were you able to take it to the podium?
I don't know. I can't say enough about Keith, Rocco, CJ, Mike, and the whole Rocco crew.
I thought I could make something really good out of it. So I've been better in this program I put together. The last few years I've had Michael Jarvis running for me at Stafford. I've had Doug Meservy. You know, I really enjoy working with other drivers and trying to bring their talent to my program. Some people just don't have the time, they don't have the resources, and they don't have you know, the equipment to do what we do. So for them to join with me is a really fun for both me and them, and it really shows what we could do. Our 2018 season at Stafford started out like a missile. You know, we won the first 4 races, I believe, and then the 5th race we got wrecked. It was the first year I actually worked with Bear as my crew chief.
My whole team's just awesome. You know, Bear turning the bolts on his car makes it fast every week, and it just makes my job so much easier.
And we kind of hit a point where he did what he normally does during the summer, and, you know, it just wasn't working for me. And, you know, towards a little bit past halfway through the year, we went back to what we normally do, and we started clicking off a couple more wins.
Keith Rocco has done it again here at Stafford.
2019 goals are to win races and put the show on. You know, I think 2019 is going to be really strong for us.
My name is Ronnie Williams. I'm 22 years old from Ellington, Connecticut. I drive the number 50 SK Modified at Stafford Motor Speedway. I started my racing career at age 10 at Stafford Motor Speedway in the WHELEN Kart Series, moving up at age 15 into the SK Light division. Spent 2 years there, won about 4 races, and then we decided to have our family operation move up into SK Modified division in the number 59 car. So going into my rookie year, I was racing with guys like Ryan Priest, Ted Christopher, Keith Rocco, Rowan Pennick, Justin Bonsignor, Sean Foster, Woody Pickhat. So these guys, doing it a long time, a lot of them have gone and done tour-like stuff. So going from the SK Lights to the SKs was really a hard transition. It definitely taught a lot throughout that year. We ran that car for 4 years. After this past year, we got an offer from Adam to come drive this 50 car. Coming into the season, being a new driver on the new team, and my family has kind of bonded with these guys.
Now here comes Ronnie Williams, one turn away from $5,000.
Ronnie Williams has done it. He'll take down the win.
And to go out there and compete like we did, win 4 races, win the SK5K, and ultimately win the championship was a huge success for us. So the 50 team is really made up of a bunch of hardworking guys. Make sure this is a winning race car every week.
Even the spotter works here. You just don't work at the track.
Just when you guys come, I swear, I sit around all the other time.
Jerry, my spotter, he came on last year. Didn't really know the guy. Kind of didn't like him at first. I seen him around the track. Wasn't too sure about him. But now we have a great connection. He knows what I want. I know what I'm going to get out of him, and we work well together. Winning the 2019 championship would mean we're back-to-back champs, which would be great. I think they said there was 8 drivers who have gone back-to-back, so to be on that list of drivers who have gone back-to-back would be a huge deal.
Modifieds are different than late models and stock cars due to the fact that the naked eye, the first thing you're going to pick out is the fact that modifieds look meaner. The open wheels out there and the whole car's hanging over the left side wheels and the right side wheels are completely out. They just look way better.
Modifieds are one of a kind. They're 2 inches off the ground. They're 2,600 pounds.
SK Modifieds are what you see weekly at your local racetracks, and Modifieds are what run regionally all over the Northeast.
The difference between a mod and an SK are pretty much just motor and some of the drivetrain package.
Maybe the shocks would be a little bit different on a modified, but that's about it.
There's not a huge difference. I mean, we're within a second of each other time-wise at Stafford.
SKs are just as hard to run as a modified, and modifieds are just as hard to run as an SK. The car counts at Stafford are the best in New England.
We usually have a good average of over 20 cars every single week. Showing up to the track, you know you have to beat around 20 guys.
It's an impressive field there every single week.
You get a good 28, 30 cars in the big races.
It's not like you finish 10th out of 10 cars. I mean, you finished 10th, it was out of almost 30 cars. It's pretty impressive.
The Stafford handicap system is something implemented so that you don't start in the front every single week. You have to drive your way through the field.
The way they do it compared to the way they do it down south is completely different. You know, down south, they time trial, they start on the pole. It's like watching paint dry.
So usually in the heat race, there's about 7 to 8 cars, and usually the handicapping system works where you have to finish in the top 5.
That gets you in the actual handicap. The more money that you win over the past 3 weeks sets you further back in the feature. Stafford does that so that people that are fast, you know, start in the back every week and work their way to the front. On the other side of that, there's people that start up front and might, you know, regress to the back. So you have to get through all that.
The competition in the SKs at Stafford are second to none. I would put them against any other NASCAR Division I short track in the country.
A lot of people come up from Stafford going to bigger and better things, so it just shows how good it is.
Will this move pay off? Deep into turn number 3. Christopher guards the spot. Priest is all over him. As he comes to the line, Michael Christopher has done it. The fans love it.
You're not looking for tenths in the SK Modified division, you're looking for hundredths. And then once you're pretty much even with everybody, it comes down to driving.
Final circuit around. Keith Rocco, Michael Christopher, Williams is right there. Glenn Reen is there.
Ronnie Williams and I would consider us pretty close. He's a hell of a race car driver, smooth.
And now he tries to swing shot his way around Glenn Reen.
He'll race you hard, but he will give you that extra inch if you need it in order to make both of you guys not wreck.
Glenn Reen, a late event bid.
I think Glenn could have done a lot to me in the final corner. We'll be getting steak on Tuesday, but thank you, man. Thank you.
Never really any problems with Ronnie. I mean, he's fast too. He has a really fast race car and a good team behind him.
Me and him kind of know how we each other race. We always race each other hard.
He has a lot of momentum going into this year. So do I with the last 3 wins. So I think him and I will be going at it a lot this year.
Still got one outside. I got one on the grass. Stay in green. You can clear up if you want it.
So Junior and I have only been running together for a couple years now. Hell of a wheelman as well, and he really came out of his shell this year.
Stay with him a little bit and see if you guys can pull away from the 50, all right? Study where he's sort of better than you, all right?
Racing against Michael Christopher Jr. is pretty fun. You know, I ain't really had any head-to-head battles with him yet, but I'm sure they're coming. But sometimes it seems like I'm racing against his father on the radio instead of him.
Not be kind to him either, hey. I don't want you to abuse him, but do not be kind to him. There's a lot of racetrack out there, all right?
Competing against Keith Rocco is competing against the best. I mean, he's been in the division for a long time. He has a lot of wins. When it gets down to time to go, he's always, you can't count him out. He'll be at your rear bumper, you know, and getting by him's even harder.
And here comes Mike Christopher trying to take the lead. He tries to excavate this underneath. He wiggles.
He's just an all-around racer.
Half behind. No stupid games. 82 is right with you.
What did Keith Rocco say about me? No, I don't want to. Yeah.
Racing against Ronnie has been different the last couple of years because he was originally one of my first drivers for the rental program, and he's became such a fierce competitor that it's definitely changing. You know, when you roll out on the track, you're ready to fight.
We're going to the back for that one.
Racing against Keith Rocco, you always know it's going to be a battle. He races you hard every lap.
Keith Rocco is an aggressive racer. He's hard. He's not going to give you any extra room. He's a hell of a race car driver, and I've seen him do some insane moves that I didn't think would work, and I'm sure he's seen me do the same thing.
And what about Glenn?
Glenn Reen has a really fast race car teaming up with Avery. If the stars align, I think he can get a win.
Glenn Reen is an aggressive driver, and my spotter Jerry always makes sure to tell me when he's around me on the track.
Inside, inside, inside. Hang tight.
I don't know quite how to describe him. You know, there's nights he's fast, and there's nights, you know, yeah.